Yo, what's up, everyone? How you doing? Hope you're all well today. Happy Friday. Almost to the weekend. Almost. You can do it. You can do it. What's up, Nano Wires? I'm sorry you have a headache. Paul, sunny-ish Maryland. It is flippin' gorgeous here. I think Oregon missed the spring memo this week and just did summer. Next week we'll have rain. Pretty much guaranteed. Welcome back, Saf. How are you, man? Good morning, Heidi. Sunny up there? Zamertz is in the house. What's up, dude? How are you? I was thinking that since it's Friday, we will do our normal feedback routine, but we'll also play with Strobe today, just because I popped into Damien's stream this morning for my morning coffee break, and some questions came up around Generate, I believe, which is the newfangled synth that Eventide put out. And it randomly turned into a conversation for a short minute about Strobe 2. And I was like, yeah, definitely. Awesome synth. And then he said, don't you think it's slept on? And I said, absolutely. Let's play with it today. So it's been a while. And if you guys are not familiar with Strobe 2, it's freaking rad. It's full of like both limitations and almost exhaustive expansiveness, like all at the same time. It's got the single oscillator approach, like single main oscillator, and then you've got this sub oscillator with a few different tone engines in it. It's a really cool thing. So for those who like analog gear and modular synthesis, stuff like that, I think you'll really dig it. There'll be a little link that pops up in the chat if you want to check it out. You can. What else do I have for you guys? Oh, update. So I probably won't be putting presets directly into this upcoming library because it's going to be large already. So I'm thinking what we're going to do with those is we may spin some kind of official release out of some of them, but we're going to make the rest some more subscriber rewards. So if there are synths that you guys want new presets for, you let me know. I'm going to be doing some in Pigments for sure, and we've already made some in Serum as well. Zamertz ended up picking up Pigments. Excellent. Yes, I'm sure we will dip into some Pigments today as well. It's been fun diving into that. Starting to feel comfortable in it. Seven-day forecast is 4 days of rain and showers with light rain for the days after that. Oh, you know, normally we have the same weather, right? You and I. But we're in that, well, first we're in that nice little sweet spot in the season, but also the climate change here has affected stuff fairly drastically, like to the point where for the past several years we've been seeing trees bloom twice, bear fruit twice. It's really weird. Not bear any fruit at all. It's been really weird, but it has been gorgeous this week. I just can't stop looking outside while I'm working. It's awesome. All right, anyway, For those who are wanting feedback today, go ahead and drop a link in the chat and sit tight and we will get to it. And if you'd rather do it in Discord, y'all can hit the Discord. If you're a current sub, and grab your free sounds while you're there. And if anybody wants to kick sounds in, or kick down sounds to the community drive, or just want me to work something, you send it on through to holler@ohmlab.tv. Man, it's been a long time since I've played with Strobe. I moved it over to this machine this morning, but didn't have a chance to actually play. Let me get rid of this music here. Goodbye, music. Oh, nice. Saf found an egg beater. We did a session yesterday on some kind of steam pump mechanical kind of inspired sounds. So I think Saffron is inspired today. You're going to have to start traveling with all of your mics. All right, what does this thing even sound like? All right. Let's make some stuff. Show of hands for anyone here that actually has Strobe 2 and uses it. Usually, I find when I ask that question, it's people that are mostly on like the synth geek side of things. Real-time oversampling, render oversampling. I really like that those are separate there. Micro-tuning, magnification. There we go. You guys can probably see that a little bit better, huh? Oh, yeah. Well, Paul, actually, you know what we should do maybe is kind of spend a little bit of time with F-Expansion in general. Maybe over the next month we'll kind of peekaboo a few of their plugins here and there, but it is so good. I think you would absolutely love this, Paul, because it allows you to use things like unison as a modulation source, set up custom curves in a wave shaper, and then run an LFO through that to mod the LFO delivery that can then be assigned to as many parameters as you want. Just some really cool stuff. Polyphonic pitch. Oh, that's what brought it up in Damien's stream. He mentioned that pitch bends were, as an option, were by the voice in generator, and I said, "Ooh, yeah, polyphonic pitch, like Strobe 2," and it kicked off a little conversation. So. Yo, Zeep Samthorpe, how are you? Yeah, they've been around a little while. CR Prod, absolutely. You can send in something for feedback. Audios, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm doing well today, Zeep. I'm doing well. It's Friday, which means it's almost the weekend. My back is hurt a bit this week. I'm hoping that there's nothing creeping up there, so I'm going to spend a little extra time on it, on the floor, I think, after I get done with the stream today. But other than that, it's been a pretty darn productive and solid week all the way around. I'm still getting used to not having the kiddo in the house a few days a week, so when I'm like productive, I'm very, very productive because there's just no sound, which really affects working with sound, oddly enough. Okay, so yeah, Saf, this is called Strobe 2, and let's see, do I have here's a link, you can check it out, and you can pick up a You can pick out a free plugin if you decide to pick it up. Anyway, um, it's awesome. So it's based off of the super old school single oscillator analog synths, right? But then it's got the sub oscillator. You can mix up to 4 other waves across 4 octaves. Yeah, so you've got like this kind of quad tone thing, plus you've got pulse width modulation on it. Voltage control filter, dual LFO, mod envelope, amp envelope. The beastly part of this though comes from not only the like really true to analog sound, but also this modulation matrix up here, which allows you to assign just about anything to an infinite number of other parameters. The types of sources, though, for those modulators are really unique, really unique. And we'll have to maybe click through a couple of presets and then just start making some madness here. But it's been a while since I played with this, so it'll take me just a couple of minutes to remind myself where everything is. So there's a synth view, an arpeggiator view, and an effects view. So it's very similar to Pigments that way. And the type of routing, for those of you who've been playing with Pigments lately, that's what it reminded me of when I first opened up the synth from Arturia last week. But this is kind of the first chance that we had to see a synth in that kind of layout. Anyway, yeah, the goodness comes from all of the wonkiness that you can just build into this through the transmod. That's what it's called, the transmod matrix up here. So you can modulate things with envelopes, LFOs, ramps, what's called performance, which is, ooh, and they've added a third one, I see. It's a freely assignable, flexible modulator. MPE curves, monophonic, polyphonic, random, unison plus voice as a modulation source, step sequencer, key zones, constants, Euclidean, which gives you an XY grid as a modulation source, which is a fantastic idea. Curves, which are basically mod curves that you can then affect other modulators with. Similar to mod curves inside of Alchemy. Yeah, Alchemy. Paraphonic and then gates. So the the potential for modulation in this thing is almost unrivaled. And then it's also, you know, polyphonic. Everything has got MPE, it's got all that stuff. So, and yeah, it should remind you of the old school Roland series because this is it's kind of modeled after that stuff. I think some Casio stuff was very similar to, and I think there was even a Yamaha that was pretty close to it too. Hey, Miguel, I was wondering if it was you, man. I was wondering if it was. How are you? How are things? All right. Zeep says, haven't seen Strobe, but you and Damien said it was slept on. So I'm here to see what it can do. Awesome. Awesome. Saf. Yeah, that's right. There is Audio Design Desk is Mac only. And we'll start digging into Audio Design Desk together in earnest here probably next week. And then it's just going to stick around, you guys, because it's getting to the point now where you know, we wanted it to be the future for a really long time, and now it really is the future. So we're going to get into it. It's certainly going to change everything. Yeah, like a B3. Hey! Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that, dude. Don't forget you can sub with your Amazon, you guys. Amazon Prime. Free OhmLab TV. Love it. All right, so let's... What is this Ambient Space Souls? I haven't played this for a little while. That one seems rather quiet. It looks like they've kind of updated things to be more in line with Rolly. They've even got the Rolly Seaboard looking keyboard down here. When the MPE was first popping, this was kind of first. Oh, you can switch back to Legacy, or is that just Legacy content? Let's see. None. Nothing. They've added a couple of folks. Hey, Seven Skies is in here. Nice. All right, so let's check out a what's this texture thing? Yeah, Lush, you can drop in chat. And if anyone is posting in links to Discord, or if you're sending anything through to email, just give a shout in chat so we can manage it all here. It's a badass sound. Ooh, I forgot that the randomizer continually builds upon your randomization. So every single time you let go of the XY grid handle, it snaps back to center, and now you're morphing randomly into something else from that point forward. So it's a constant evolutionary like discovery mode. I forget that. What's up, Tom? Master Spy Iggy's here. Thank you for the sub, sir. It's a month anniversary. Yeah, so this is precisely why I feel this is slept on. All right, so who's up? Who's up? Who's up? Thank you, Lash. I do appreciate this. No, this is not. This is F Expansion. Serum is the one made by Duda. Oh, you lose this. You lose the emote when you don't have the sub present, huh? Or current, huh? Man. Does Soothe 2 have skins? I don't know. I'm not sure if it does. I really don't. All right, was there a link in here before? Yes. Okay, CR, are you ready? Let's do this. And then Lash, you're up next. This one is called Truth. Okay, so this is a fun one. I'm really digging the like this like it's almost kind of like a cross between like bluegrass and world, this feel that you've got here in the very beginning. Really digging how you carried that through the whole thing. I would consider playing even more with those short stop that you've got going on there with the 808 and even the attack. Like just playing with the attack and the decay might be um, one of the things that you can kind of carry through the entire track, just for interest. Um, so by the 1 minute mark, we should be aiming for some variety. Oh, and I meant to also include add occasional perks. Okay, so by about the 1 minute mark, the whole initial kind of honeymoon phase with all of the interesting things going on in the beginning of this start to fade. Okay, and this is the point where you've already got to have something going on, whether it's filter sweeps or whether it's added embellishments from like extra perks, like really tight little rolls on something really high. Um, think like, well, I don't know if a tabla would really fit this, but something in that kind of pitch range that's really percussive that you could roll through very quickly, just like a little brah or like a little tambourine sizzle or something. But you can also think of a bit more modern production mixing too, and think about how sweeps, gates, stutters, little delay trickery can fit in there as well. Play, in other words, right? Just kind of set maybe like a 16 bar, 32 bar section of your song, like in this area right here. Just set it on loop and just play with random effects, like across the entire thing. And you're probably going to start getting some really cool ideas. Um, what DAW do you produce in? I do not remember. It's been a minute. Um, After 2 minutes, when everything starts hitting here at the end, and you can see the dynamic range difference here, it's significant. Your valley floors are way down here in the rest of the track, and they're way up here, and they only keep getting louder. Um, but it all starts with the sub. The sub is too hot. It's just too loud. So if you bring that down, you can bring everything else down, and then the streaming platforms won't be turning it down for you. Um, Not that being turned down by streaming platforms is the worst thing in the world. It's just that with the stuff this loud, it doesn't really leave you anywhere to go if you really like the song and you want to turn it up. You know what I mean? So it'll just increase your audience engagement with it. It'll, give people a chance to say, crank that. Um, the perceived loudness difference is still going to be there. You're still going to have a banging track. So nice work on this one. Oh, Paul. Doesn't look like skins are supported. Okay. Now we know. That's for Sooth 2, I do believe. Zamerit says sidechain on a drum beat as a trigger for the old trance effect is nice. Trance gate works like stutter too. Absolutely. Yeah, when I mention gate, I should maybe I should um expand upon my comments. You might see me say it'd be nice to gate that or add some gating here. I don't mean like I'm not thinking like a noise gate in the traditional sense. I'm thinking about putting something rhythmic into your mix. Maybe it's not even something that's audible in the mix. Maybe the volume is all the way down on the track, but you're using the signal from some other source in your project to now add some kind of movement or percussive nature or something, adding change over time by or through the signal of something else in your track. Absolutely. Saf, what do you mean? It's so weird how all the other streams work, but this one. What are you talking about? On your Twitch app? Anyone else having problems out there? I don't see any issues over here, dude. It could just be resolution. Try taking the resolution down a notch. Give them breaks. Uh, yeah, CR, I think where you are right now with this one is just play. Just play. You've got a really awesome beat here. It's fun. I wouldn't really change much in regards to the beat. It's all just a mixing kind of thing at this point, and just have fun. And that's really going to translate in something like this. But think about kind of flair. Like if you're going to add anything else to this, like I was saying, like maybe a little perk embellishments or something like that. Think flair, like something that's going to like flare up in the music, something that's going to really draw attention to something or accent something else in the mix. I wouldn't change the arrangement otherwise. Cool. What's up over there, Heidi? All right, let's go find this link from Lush really quick. Anybody else wants feedback on something, you drop a link in the chat and we'll get to it after this one. Remember, if you're posting a Discord or sending something through to email, just let me know in chat so I can keep track of it. All right, here we go.
It's so far away, this tiny thing called entropy, the end of all you've ever been, but you can't sleep, and I can't lie to you, like all the grown-up people do. The clock stops, people go. People go. If I could sense of the deep down dive, I would.
This is lovely. This is great. Um, you've got you've got something actually like yours in this, you know? I mean, I can hear influences and whatnot, but there's some choices that you're making in here that are yours, and I like this. Really nice from the start. So there's this little old school trick with reverb on vocals that you might want to play with here. What you do is you can set up an even bigger reverb than you already have on this vocal. Not extreme by any means, but a little bit bigger, which can kind of like enhance the mood just a bit more. And then you're going to put a compressor on the parallel channel that the reverb is on. And you're going to bring in a sidechain trigger on that thing from the vocal. So the vocal track is going to be sidechain ducking. It's going to attenuate the signal of the reverb each time the vocal reaches a certain level. So it's a way to keep the transients of the vocals coming through nice and clear. It's not eliminating all of the reverb, it's just attenuating it, right? And then it also adds, as you hear that reverb kind of come back up, and you can have control over that over the release parameter, it adds a certain kind of vibe. And I think it'd be really, really nice in this. It'd be really, really nice. Um, Man, there's some feels at 45. It's just really nice. So your reverb, it feels like there are low mids that are kind of muddying things up. I'm not speaking to the like the low end aesthetic to this. I think it's gorgeous and it's lovely, but I think that the whole thing can be a bit more lush, and that you can call more attention to the individual sounds, characteristics, and movement if you were to clean up some of those low mids. If each sound was tightened up just a little bit, then your main low end element could really breathe on its own. Um, and everything else will be able to be heard a little bit better because your resource management will be better. More power can be allocated to other frequencies in the spectrum. And right now, a lot of the power that's going into the speakers and headphones that are producing your sound are being inundated by the needs of those low end frequencies, and they're heavier and they take a lot more energy to move. So if you can clean up the stuff that isn't 100% necessary in the low end on every single one of your tracks, you're going to hear a lot more power and vibe in the whole thing. And it will feel really both tighter and much more expansive too. Anyway, 155. I'm loving the like complete tremolo gate kind of effect. What if you actually played with the floor though? Like, what if it didn't actually dip down to zero at points? What if it actually kind of came up, so there's this kind of like release kind of feel and then maybe come back down or something? I think it'd be a really neat effect because it's just there's so many different things that are drawing you in. And but there's also, a fair bit of bop to this whole thing. So if there was something at the end that really made people go, whoa, and kind of lean in a bit, and you would leave them hanging and you would get more plays. You would totally get more plays. Lastly, and it's total personal preference here, but I think the vocals should come up overall in the entire mix. That said, if you do go back and clean up enough of those lows, you probably don't need to change the vocals. But as it stands right now, I would love to hear those vocals just a little bit more because they're awesome. They are awesome. I'm just, I'm getting back to the chat. I'm just seeing, oh no, I have the full heart on giggles. Edibles kicking in? Yes. Paul, you haven't made any music this week. What have you been doing? Hot tubbing? Oh, got to do what you got to do, Tom. Have a good one, dude. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have a good weekend, homie. Oh, yes, and happy birthday, Heidi. You dropped this bomb on us right at the end of the stream on Wednesday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Can't believe you're 27 already. It's just blowing my mind. Lash, anytime, dude. Absolutely. Swing back by anytime. Oh, look at that. The girls are back. You were born on a new moon during a solar eclipse. Are you kidding me? Is that what's going on with you? This is why you're a bit more in touch with the universe than the rest of us. Yeah, as Paul says, keep working on it, Lash, because it's definitely worth it. Definitely chase this one down. It's fully worthy of ears being on it for sure. 33 plus a few candles. Actually, yes, hot tub flush and clean week. Big work after this today. All right. Babies are mostly preferring the full moons. Does that mean that more babies are born on full moons than new moons? Is that? Oh, right, Paul, you were talking about getting a computer up to snuff, huh? And moving over plugins and stuff. Oh, your cupcakes had a 33 plus a few candles. Awesome. All right, let's make something weird and cool and awesome over here. You absolutely can, Optimus. We just wrapped up some feedback and we will dig back in. You just toss the link here in the chat, unless you want people to chime in outside of the stream, then you can toss it in the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, if you're a current sub, go hit the Discord and grab your free sound pack this month. It's the Sacred Sound Pack from OhmLab, and whatever you are inspired to make, come back here, submit it before the end of the month, and we are voting at the end of the month again. Everyone who participates gets lots of free sounds and goodies, and we pick one winner. They're a guest on the show. It's a good time. Let's see if I can remember how to get this whole thing initiated. There we go. Yeah, we'll just throw all that stuff away. Oops, I did not want to do that. Yeah, the more I think about it, there's a lot of similarities between pigments and strobe 2. Javar. So you can import your own noise if you're willing to use the sampler for your noise profile inside of pigments. And then you're correct. In the utility engine, there is noise, but you cannot alter. You can't import. And in this one, this is just straight synthesis. And it only has one noise sample, which you can affect the color of, and that's it. So this is really modeled after the old school single oscillator approach of, like mid 80s ish to like mid 70s, like this kind of 10-year span maybe, but the modern modulation mindset is just fantastic. Swamp's here. Well then, wait, frozen from me? No, you know the episode of Portlandia where they take out the birthday loan at the bank so they can afford tapas. Oh, man. What's up, Polly? How are you? And Nate is here. Oh, and I've got a DM from you too, huh? Okay, cool. And we've got more stuff in the review queue. Anybody else looking for feedback, go ahead and drop in the link. And Dremia's here. Hey, dude. How are you? It's good to see you. Let's see what happens when we stick something weird on the stack parameter here, shall we? Let's do step sequencer. All right, let's change this one to maybe a Euclidean, and we'll do, should we do Euclidean X here? And let's do note pitch. Yeah, and then we'll put this on the, let's put this on the stack and see what happens here. Okay, so that means this. Okay, so we'll move that with Euclidean. And this, oh wait, let's put it on pulse width. Yeah, let's stack that up on a few things. Let's put that on some filter, maybe even on the resonance here, and we'll just put in a little added random, and we'll say per note double parameter bipolar. All right, let's set this on that as well. Ooh, Polly's got something in the queue. Nate's got something in the queue. Nice, nice. It's never too late, Polly. Lizzie and One, welcome back, by the way. It is, oh, good question. Is Strobe 2 a standalone? Let's find out really quick. Yep, it is. It's a standalone. It doesn't run inside of Kontakt, but it will run inside your DAW. It's straight synthesis, no samples. It's good stuff, too. It's really good stuff. All right, where is this link? Where? There it is. All right, Optimus, here we go. Okay, okay.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Okay, this is fantastic. We're going to unpack this one together just using words. We're not going to type this one out. There is so much going on in this 1 minute. All right, so I think you've got so many good things hidden in this mix that you might want to take a little page from Complextro. Who remembers Complextro? Remember when America said, oh wait, that's not dubstep, we'll do dubstep the right way. And then after that came Complextro, where like all of that madness was turned into like some kind of bigger yet more melodic madness. Just kind of like the random assortment of things. But the way that they made Complextro really work is that they allowed a whole bunch of individual things to peekaboo, even if it was just for a single note length. You might be able to play a little bit of that here, right? Let's start at the beginning of this thing and kind of walk through it slowly and unpack it, because I think that stereo width is also going to play a part in disclosing some more of these sounds for the listener. But as it stands right now, as epic as this is, I think it might be a little bit too busy in the first half for a lot of people. By the time you reach the midway point and you're really locked into the theme of this thing, I think it flows very nicely for pretty much anyone who's ever, played games or anything. But let's just start here at the beginning here. Okay, so the kind of alarm kind of synth, if you were to play with the stereo imaging here and move it out of center completely, like just get rid of whatever presence is in the center and leave it only on the sides, and still let it move around the way that you've got it going right now, you're going to hear that initial hit, that kind of brahmy hit here at the beginning, much better. And you're going to hear that vocal shout a little bit better. If that vocal isn't right smack dab in the middle, let's put it in the middle. And if there are frequencies that are conflicting with that brahmy bass that it's hitting alongside, then let's remove those, right? And then also add an accent to that vocal with maybe just like a transparent overdrive or something. Don't even have to add drive. Just target a higher frequency above where the most of the activity is in an EQ, and it's going to create additional overtones above it, more harmonics above it, and you're going to be able to hear it better. Okay, the big synth that just keeps hitting the wow, that can come down a bit. And then also, this would be another stereo image / multiband thing. You want to cut out some of those mid lows and lows out of the sides of your mix, because right now that breakbeat that's back there, those hats, those should be coming across a bit more crisp than they are. And the reason that they aren't is because you've got extra frequencies in that part of the stereo spectrum that are just kind of weighing things down. And if they weren't, then you'd be able to hear those. And that becomes more important when we get to this section over here, when everything's hitting at the same time. And just really quick right here, you can hear that there's kind of this uniform loudness presence right in the middle of your track. And whatever we can do to create separation and difference between each of the sounds present at this particular time, then it's going to improve the impact that's coming right after this. And that riser can be even more extreme. You can cut out some of the other mix going into it and let the entire thing dip down a little bit, and then just really add a bit more accent to that thing and bring it up even harder. So the bass right here, you've got a really good solid bass down low. If you were to accent the low on that and then remove some of the mids, you're going to be able to hear that synth quite a bit better over the top of it. The twinkly little ARP synth, move that out further to the sides and remove whatever is in the middle of the mix, because right now it's kind of halfway in between. It's getting buried, and it can sparkle. And the in the background there, it's getting really, really buried. So this is the point at which I think we could probably take a little page from Complextro and every once in a while stop one sound completely and let something else shine, even if it's just for like 1/4 note, right? Or half a bar or something like that. Yeah, like where this comes to rest, like everything could stop at that one spot for just a hair's breadth longer and have only one thing playing.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
So good. This is so good. And I say these things, hopefully in an effort to help you find a way to hear, let people hear each one of the additional or individual sounds before the minute is out. You know what I mean? I wouldn't change much in the actual arrangement. It's for a competition and you're very competitive. Awesome. You have a problem with making things too busy. Well, this is fine. This is fine. You're looking for a reference of something Complextro? Yeah, so what I would suggest is going into YouTube and just typing up Complextro and then sort your results to like 2013. You'll hit a sweet spot. So I like making things really busy and then carving away. Like that's where things start to get really fun for me. And one of the best ways to figure out what you can start messing with is to, while you're there, and you just kind of line up your mouse click ahead of time, get it kind of hovering over a mute button on one of the tracks, close your eyes, try to slip into the music a little bit and mute that thing and see what the rest of the track sounds like without it. And go through and do that at different points for different durations with different tracks at the most busiest points in your project. And when you hear moments of clarity or you get the ooh, then think about, well, okay, so what would be a really fun and creative way to get this out of the way for a second? Because it doesn't necessarily need to be the removal of that sound. You could gate that sound, or you could filter sweep that sound, or whatever. There's also lots of room for kind of big blocky mixes like this, where you've got just a ton of stuff happening and they're all very present. You can start doing things to the entire mix, right? And treat it as if, okay, this is fairly complete, and now I'm going to start remixing kind of a thing, right? And when you finally get to that point where you're feeling free enough to play like that, that's where you're going to start getting the actual organic kind of jumpiness and I guess more playful modulation type stuff. Okay, so you say, I'm a little lost when you say let one thing breathe and cut the other stuff. Okay, so that's right over here. Okay, so da 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 da. Right, those two little silents there. Those could be everything is cut, and in one, maybe it's only the snare that cracks. Not even the little twinkly little synth or reverb from anything else in the mix is present for that one note. And then you pick something else the next time, right? Because you soloed that snare on that one hit, people are going to lean in for that next snare hit. And when it's not that snare hit, they're going to be like, wait, what? And now all of a sudden, there's a reason for them to tune back in and pay even more attention than they were before. It's like a classic trick just to move from passive to engaged listener. And when you have something this busy, you can employ tricks like that. Yeah, exactly. Maybe do a reverse on the second one. And yeah, absolutely. When I give creative feedback like this, it's not to say you should do this. It's to give you some kind of a jumping off point, or like almost permission to play, right? We feel sometimes like we have to be a little bit more rigid than we really need to be with this stuff. And we got to remind ourselves, or someone else can remind us on the outside of our production sessions, that we can still play. Yeah, you know, Nate can attest to this. He's been there with me for several years now. Less is more really, really works. And it's kind of, you know, a lot of people liken me to Bob Ross for this reason too, because you throw a bunch of stuff out there and then you start carving away. You like start transforming hard edges into soft edges and vice versa, and just straight up removing things and painting right over other things. And you just kind of reach this balance of intention and play, and through that comes discovery. And when you're doing it in equal measure, that's when you get into those kind of like organic sweet spots. So yeah, you bet, Optimus. And don't forget to hit the sub and grab your free pack. I think that you would slay with these monthly competitions. All right, who else is up next? Let's see here. It was... Well, thank you, sir, for the sub. Nate, were you the next one? Yeah, and then Polly. Okay, so... Kirby. Hey, Kirby. What you doing there? Who out there is an Aesop fan? Oh, wait, you're not Nasty Nate anymore. You're now Nate the Sound Ninja. All right, here we go. Dude. All right. It's frick. It's just. It's great. It's brilliant. You truly are built for game music. I don't have much to gripe on here. I think that the clap can come up around 55 seconds. By the way, brilliant little maneuver there at 50 seconds. The clap can come up, perhaps even a short form filter sweep on it, or, you know, just like a small little mod envelope on a filter for the clap. Put a little resonance on there. Add a nice little accent to it, I think. Okay, so at 115, this transition that you did here, this is not as smooth as you can do. I know it. So I'm sure that you will smooth this out. And I'm sure that you'll think of a fun and clever way to do it. But I would toss out there that some kind of funky rhythmic thing over the top of it without changing it could also be an interesting play. Maybe a little sidechain gate or something. Nice change up at 130, fantastic fill at 143, and all the little percussive play that you've got right there. That was good stuff. Where is that? Like right in here. All right, here it comes. It's anthemic, man. It's a brilliant theme song. It's good. Kirby got a little trap game. When did that happen? Anton, you are welcome to drop something in the chat if you just want me to review it here. You're second in line. If you want other people to chime in outside the stream, you can absolutely toss it in the Discord. And if you're sub, don't forget to grab your free sound pack while you're over there this month. And then there's Obsession by Calvin Klein. Oh, man. You know, I thought about the kick a couple of times in there, Nate. It was really working in some spots, and others it wasn't. So I'm not sure that fully swapping it out is the answer there. I would add a little layer of something to get the timbre or character that you want out of it. There were only a couple of spots where I was like, that kick. And then almost immediately, each time I thought that, which was probably like at least 3 times, my thought was, oh, but it works right there. So, for what it's worth, I would try a layer before a hot swap on that. No, I would not add more transient. And yes, Aesop Rock. A lot of questions here in the chat. Yes, that was an Aesop Rock reference. Hey, Kirby, what you doing there? You guys know that song? It's fantastic. You know what? Let's stop and talk about this for a really quick second, and then we'll get back to the rest of this feedback really quick. Because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? Isn't it? Isn't May? I don't know. Personally, I think every single frickin' day of the year should be Mental Health Awareness Day. People should not be made to feel weird that they get depressed or anything. Everyone out there's fine. We all got stuff going on inside our heads. Anyway, so Aesop Rock writes this song. And this is, I'm pretty sure this is pre-pandemic by at least a year. So this wasn't just like him climbing up the walls in his apartment or anything. And there's even a line in there that references after, God, what is it? Something like after 15 years of different meds, the therapist finally says, what about a kitten? So this song is about a kitten named Kirby that he picks up, and him just sitting there in his apartment and watching Kirby get up to some weird stuff like chewing on a leaf on the plant. And it's just like, but you know, it's an epic form rap because it's Aesop Rock, and he's just fantastic that way. So I don't know. Maybe get a kitten. Javar knows what's up. Paulie knows what's up. He says that Kirby's a vibe here. Absolutely. Operatic chipmunk for some vocals. Oh, that would be great. Oh, I can see the I can see it in my mind's eye. Or Stubbs with a double duet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, he is a brilliant wordsmith and an amazing lyricist indeed. What's up, guy? And no worries, Nate. I think that well, I think a lot of things. You guys know that. I have a lot of strong opinions. I don't mind sharing them. Let me just say this. Uh, Shaming of any kind of mental health, whether it be good or bad or anywhere in between, is not tolerated here. And I will always make time for people that want to share. Paulie, you are up, my friend. Hey, nice image there, dude. Can I just say you've been killing it with the images lately? Seriously? Got it going on. Let's do this. Okay. So, dude, you just continue to improve. Your mixing and your sound palette are improving at such a quick rate right now that I can hear it's building confidence in your arranging too. So this is all starting to build on itself right now. You're in a really good spot. I hope you're feeling it because it's translating. Lovely layered keys in the intro here, and I would bring that up a few dB. That bass, it's so simple and pure and on point, and I love it. I'm not so sure about the boxiness that comes with, and the kind of inflated resonant low end that comes with that chorus spread though. So here's what I would recommend. Two things. One would be stereo width management. You can try to keep your current settings on this thing and then load up some kind of wow, I have such a hard time clicking on things and talking at the same time sometimes. You guys feel that? Okay, so we're going to pull up a stereo imager, and I'll just show you how I might dial in something like that. So I would say that to have the low end, let's say 150-ish is kind of a good crossover point for this. You would narrow this. You would make this mostly mono in a mix like this. And then you could peekaboo a little bit of width out of it, right? And not actually use as much chorus. Like you could even have as something as like a 40% span on the highs, because there's really not going to be anything there. It might catch just the tips of, if you've got a little bit of reverb on it or something, right? And then this would be kind of like where the strings are and those overtones way up high. And this is the body of the bass. And these are the low frequencies that are messing with your mix. And so right now they're way out here. And where they should be for something like this type of music is like maybe down here. And then you can get your width out here. Okay. The other thing that I would mention is that if it is chorus that's being added, that's making it so wide, you don't have to make it quite as wide. You could set it at like maybe a 35% width, and right now it feels like it's probably at about a 180% width. And the way that you can get away with a narrower stereo spread on it and still get a really full Lush sound is the detuning and the depth of the detuning, right? The modulation rate can be kind of low and the depth can be kind of high. And then that spreads out that difference in that modulation across that depth out into the stereo field. And you really don't need anything too wide because you've got other instruments in your mix that can kind of carry the load for you there. And right now, the reason why I say that you should probably pivot away from its current position into something a bit more constrained is because it's dominating the rest of the sounds in the mix. Okay, that melodic synth at 1 minute, it could use just a touch more transient. It could be a simple enveloper. It could be something like Transient Master from Native Instruments or anything like that. This clap at 115 stands out as kind of separate from the rest of the mix, so perhaps a bit more of an airy verb rather than a tight mid-range focus reverb, which is kind of what you've got on it right now. So I'd let it breathe. Let it go and let it breathe, and cut out any frequencies down low in that reverb tail that don't need to be there. At 140, I would personally swap out that riser for something more succinct and upfront, a bright noise, not something any more fancy than that. Let's dip back in over here, and I'll just pull up, here, we'll do massive. We haven't done massive on anything in quite some time. So it's quite literally as simple as whatever synth you're going to bring up a bright white noise profile instead of a standard white. We'll just kill the oscillators. We don't even need them. Crank up your amp and crank up your noise, and then close your synth. And then toss in a note, and it can be as long as you want. 1 bar to 4 bars, doesn't really matter. Any note will work because you're just dealing with noise here. So you quite literally just draw in your note and then open up an automation lane. And in and out point, add a curve to it, and that's it. Add a little reverb at the end. We'll just put this in a hall. And then just cut out the lows. And the very, very tops of the highs. Oh, and let's also just take out any of the lows in the sides as well, if you have that option available to you. You don't need to worry about pre-delay on something like this. Super nice. Now you can put that on, you can put the reverb on a parallel, and then you can choke this. The reverb will continue on. The riser itself will have a short stop effect. We'll play that through. Right? So bus, send through, move to bus. Let's kill the dry. We've only got wet. Now check it. There's a difference here. See? It's the best of both worlds. So parallel process the riser, make it a somewhat dramatic thing so it doesn't have this kind of slow, noisy creep to it. Keep it nice and short and succinct and bright, just a little. And it stops, but the reverb sails on through and it dissipates over a few seconds. And at 233, that riser, long reverb tail, just like I was showing, but perhaps just a little bit longer. And then on the end, so let's just dip back in here as the example, we're going to put a tremolo on after this reverb. We'll set the tremolo to 0 phase, so it's not stereo panning, and we're going to take down the smoothing, so it's a bit more of like a square, and then we'll move this up. And for this type of music, maybe like a 16th triplet, don't hit a valley floor, bring it up a bit. It's mostly modulated, not entirely. Now listen to this thing. Oh, and also let's just extend the length of it so we can hear this effect even more. I'll just do this. There we go. Right? It's subtle and it's so worth it. It's so worth it in a mix like that. It just brings a little bit of character to the whole thing. And vibe. Lastly, 3 minutes, that should come up. This whole area, I think right here is just too low. If you look at the dynamic range between the intro and your first verse over here, I think that's a good balance. You return to those same approximate levels here and here. So I get what you're trying to do here and drop really low. I just wouldn't sustain it that long. I would put a really long riser in here that runs the entire duration and just leave it fairly linear. And then that way you can drop this low, but it doesn't stay that way for very long, just a couple of seconds maybe. And then it will force people to lean in because that riser is going to be so low. And it doesn't have to all be like a noise riser or something. Part of it can just be a change in amplitude. You can slowly be increasing the amplitude of the entire mix at that point. You're going to start to hear details, people will lean in more, and then bam, you come out of it and everyone's just vibing again. So there's my 2 cents on it, homie. Um, Nate says, but yeah, OhmLab, let me know if you like what's in Discord. I'm going to polish it up at some bit. We wanted to get something to you ASAP. What is in Discord? Still haven't made it over there yet. Let's see. Oh, hey, you know what it is? You know what Nate threw up here? Ta-da! It's PogChamp. Let's do it, Nate. Let's do it. You guys have been busy in the chat again. Let's see here. Hey, you guys should be playing with the commands today, and let me know which videos are sticking and which ones are going in and out as they should. Nate's asking, oh my God, Chris, have you seen when Aesop Rocky meets Aesop Rock? Yeah. It's not getting the kitten, it's keeping the kitten. No, I have not heard the new J. Cole album yet. Nate, I would love to click on stuff like that on stream. We're really not allowed to on Twitch anymore. We get 3 copyright violations and then you're shut down. So I really only accept people's work in progress at this point. Such good stuff, though. I will have to check out the whole album. Thank you for the heads up on that, Anton. Yeah, Paulie. Oh, dude, so well put. He doesn't miss. It's actually crazy being able to witness his legacy unfold. Yes. You know, sometimes with artists, there's these moments where I have these same kind of feels and thoughts as I do when I'm watching someone like Dame Lillard, like just go on. Like I'm a basketball guy and I'm in Portland, so he's always on my radar. But just witnessing, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. Charcal, welcome back. How are you? You get a mix ready for me yet? Nate, you are welcome for the feedback anytime, brother. You know this. Okay, the studio did free revisions for you, so you are satisfied. Excellent, dude. That is a fantastic finish to that one. And then you don't have to wait for me to do anything. Later, Somi. Have a good one, Nate. Yeah, Charkel. Is that link for feedback? We can do that. It is chorus on that bass. Man, I am still catching up with the chat here. Oh, and Travis is here. Excellent. Welcome, Travis. Ooh, Paul summoned Travis. He's got some mad skills. Okay, so Juice Music, I'm assuming. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering the name there. And thank you for the follow, by the way. Yes, you can submit a track. You can drop it here in the chat. We'll circle back to it in just a minute. There's a couple people ahead of you. If you'd rather have other people chime in on it outside of the stream as well, you can drop it in the Discord and just let me know. What up, Samarits? How are you, dude? Ooh, you're lost and hypnotized, making an ambient track in Pigments. Very nice, very nice. Shomyu, Chumyu, Chumyu, right? Did I get it right this time? Charcal, I will circle back to it in just one moment. I think there's one more person ahead of you. No, you're allowed to play copyright again. It just cannot be any clips or VODs. Well, that's only on the Twitch platform. Yeah, it gets more complicated because, yeah, it gets more complicated with YouTube and whatnot. So. Also sent in sub feeds. Okay, cool. Don't even worry about it, Saf. You still have, what's the date today? The date is the 14th. You still have half a month to make something for this month's competition. Everybody who's currently subbed, go grab your free sound pack from the Discord, and whatever you're inspired to make, come back here and submit it by the end of the month. Get a bunch of free sounds and stuff. Okay, so that one was Polly. I think the next one is Antone. Is this correct? I believe. Yep. All right, and our list is growing quickly. I'm going to put this up here so everybody can see it. Okay, and after Antone, we've got Charcal, and he's dropping, is it Organic Mood? Oh, it's this one right here. Okay, so Charcal. We're going to have to switch over to Discord full time for these things soon, you guys. Chat ends up getting so busy, we start losing the links. Cool. Of course we feedback house. Of course. Of course. Charcal, which one are you putting up for review? I see that you've put Organic Mood up here a few different times. Is that the one that you really want? And Antone, we're going to click on yours now. All right, just a reminder, you only got to drop something in there once and we will take care of it. So back to Antone. The bad mood Kanye.
I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye. Chop up the stove Kanye, set on his goals Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood Kanye, the always rude Kanye, spaz in the news Kanye. I miss the sweet Kanye. Chop up the beast, Kanye. I gotta say, at that time I'd like to meet Kanye. See, I invented Kanye. It wasn't any Kanye. And now I look around and there's so many Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I even had the pink polo. I thought I was Kanye. What if Kanye made a song about Kanye? Call him Mr. Old Kanye. Man, that'd be so Kanye. That's all it was, Kanye. We still love Kanye. And I love you like Kanye loves Kanye.
Oh! Okay, seriously. That was great. That was great. All right, let's pay attention to this mix here. I didn't write a single thing. Let's just go through this verbally.
I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye. Chop up the stove Kanye, set on his goals Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood Kanye, the always rude Kanye, spaz in the news Kanye. I miss the sweet Kanye, chop up the beast Kanye. I gotta say, at that time I'd like to meet Kanye.
Anton, is this one, where is this in the mix process? Are you, is this mastered? That was a nice one. Welcome, Marcus. Pretty done. Okay. Not mastered. Okay, cool. So my only concern about the volume mix right now is this blown out 808 in relation to the hi-hats. Like, where are they going to sit compared to the hi-hats?
See, I invented Kanye. It wasn't any Kanye. And now I look around and there's so many Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I even had the...
I said the 808s, didn't I? It's the kick. The 808s are out on the side. That's my other thought here, is it feels like they're pushed all the way out at like 180. And I don't know, I personally find that if you bring that back to like maybe a 165-ish, 163 is kind of my sweet spot for that, stereo width. It brings it in just a little bit tighter. It seems to shoot out of the speakers a little bit better. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, you're clipping them. Yeah, so... anytime you're actually clipping, you're losing bits. So hopefully you're playing it in a way that you're actually not. What I would say is that right now it feels like it's going to be a bit too dominant, and that it might need to come down a couple of dB. I don't think there's anything wrong with the kick itself. I think it's a fairly good one for the overblown style. But I do think that it might be a bit hot.
Love Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I even had the pink polo. I thought I was Kanye. What if Kanye made a song about Kanye? Call him Mr. Old Kanye. Man, that'd be so Kanye. That's all it was, Kanye. We still...
I can't decide if I love or I don't love the 808 fully in the right channel. And what DAW are you using to mix in? Yeah, I love that cover too. Well, yeah, Guy, but it's not just turning it up. It's not just turning it up. I hear what you're saying though. FL, okay, okay. Yeah, so mix this one with, if you're looking at a Luff's meter, if your kick is hitting at, say, neg 16 or so, then you're fine going into the master like that. I'm assuming that you're going to average above neg 13 Luffs and you're going to hit like neg 9 probably at a peak for that. And it will be sitting with everything else on streaming platforms pretty well. But you don't want to go into the master hotter than that. It'll end up wrecking the vocals too. Dude, the lyrics on this are freaking fabulous. I would love to find a way to make the vocals stand just above the rest of this mix a bit more.
Love Kanye, and I love you like Kanye loves Kanye.
Is the 808 in the right channel intentional? Is it supposed to be exclusive to the right channel? So I think it might be part of what's making the vocals hard to track at times. If you're fully tuned into the lyrics, you can hear them. But the bass is stepping on them, for what it's worth. Okay, cool. So your 808 is currently panned all the way to the right, and it's not in the left channel at all. And I'm just kind of wondering if that's intentional, because if it's not, let's get it out of a hard right pan. Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's something's making it feel that way, though.
I missed the. I even had the pink polo. I thought
There's some kind of a sample delay on it, so the left channel is being delayed in some ways, so it's being made dominant on the right. So something is off there, and it's making the vocals a little tricky to track at points. Okay, so usually if you're using a maneuver like that, it's only to highlight something like a clap or something that's specific to one side of the mix. Part of the sample. Okay, cool. Yeah, so what I would do then is similar to like what I was talking to Paulie about in his feedback about stereo image management and just kind of bringing stuff out of the sides and keeping it more towards the center. Because right now it feels like it's fully out to the sides and there's some kind of a sample delay on the left channel. Otherwise, I think this is great. And I think that if you were to figure out that 808 thing, and if you were to bring down that kick a few dB to get it into the right range before you go into the master, that this thing is going to be ace. So I say we've got a couple more that have walked in. We've got Marcus. And Froze Picks. All right, Trakel, you are up. Those lyrics, man. You win the lyrics battle today, my friend. Oh, yeah, you're in here. You're right after Sharakel. And hold on a second. There is one more that we don't have. Huh. We've missed one. Hold on just 1 second. Or maybe we haven't. Hang with me for just a second, folks. I'm scrolling through the chat to make sure that we've got everyone that has submitted stuff. Okay. Yeah, so this is where we are. Charcal. All right, so this one's solid. Here's the feedback on it. Really nice Lush vibe, dude. Very nice. Some soundscape elements need to come up, and it's only at some points, right? That my opinion might change if there was a nice shared reverb that all of those lesser heard embellishments are all sent through. Like if they're all living in the same space, I feel like this whole thing starts to feel a bit more together. And by that I mean there's kind of like some they're almost kind of like monkey-ish kind of chants and stuff in here. Love the palette in here, by the way. Right in here. So right in here, all these little things popping off in the soundscape in the background, those can kind of come up or just be accented or highlighted in some way. And that's as simple as bringing them further out from the middle, farther out to the sides, and actually putting them into motion. It doesn't have to be big sweeps or anything jerky or anything fancy. Just a little bit of motion is probably going to dial ears into it the same way that bringing something up a couple of dBs would do. The other thing is, if these things are all in their own mix channels, like if they're all being processed separately, let's stop that and send everything to one shared aux channel with a reverb that is EQ'd afterwards, and perhaps even just a touch of like very simple saturation or compression right after the reverb, and that's simply to glue all of that stuff together and kind of put the space on display instead of just the sounds, if that makes sense, right? Because now you're talking about that space fulfilling or filling the space of atmosphere in the track, right? Because right now it's not truly like a unified atmosphere in this. There's a mood. There's like a feel to all of it, right? And once you put a whole bunch of stuff into a shared reverb on top of that mood, now you've got this atmosphere, right? And I think that that's the only thing that's really missing in that part of the entire thing. The singer is kind of in a similar space here, where she feels great at certain points, and at others you're thinking, oh, that sounded like it didn't quite, like it was just above the mix, right? Above the rest of the sounds. And this is such a cool psychotropic little journey that I feel like she needs to be fully embedded in this mix, right? So perhaps that's just a little bit of mix glue at the end, some proper compression at the very end of the thing, along with some EQ. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a matter of bringing down the mid-highs in something really specific. Like, for instance, a great tool for this would be the... Let's see if I can find it here really quick for you. It's not the Puig. It's the Sheps. So old school console EQs like this, they have, and the Sheps especially, there's something just kind of magical about, I find the right range here. I guess it would be in this 4 to 8 or 3 to 2 range here. Either way, if you were to take, if you have this or a similar type of old analog EQ, you can take down just across the entire mix of the vocals, backing as well, and take it down like not even a full dB. And you'll be amazed at what that does as far as like flattening or exciting, like if you're going up or down. the overall presence in the mix. It can be as simple as something like that to help bring it down to earth if you're not getting what you want out of like a simple glue compression. The other thing that you might want to look at is the pre-delay setting on your reverb for your vocals as well. It might just be a little bit short is all. It could be one of those tiny little nuancy kind of things that can keep something a bit more upfront or present than you really want it. Okay, so at 315, this is a great choice. Rolling off the kicks like this, except you're working with a high pass, which means all of the upper frequencies are left exposed. And what it leaves us hearing is a click, not a good kind of click, right? It's the click that's been added to the kick to help it cut through, but you don't want to click like that just popping off in the middle of your mix because it's going to sound like bad samples or something, right? It all comes into clarity for someone that has experience with producing when they hear the kick fully come into focus, when the rest of the frequencies come into play, but most people don't have production experience, right? So I would personally remove or soften those so it doesn't come across like that. That's all. 4 minutes. I love the daring choice of exposing those higher frequencies on the bass. I love it. Absolute great choice. Overall, I think the mix is solid. Your palette is really good and it's unique. And great choices with your modulation. I would work the reverbs and glue the mix. And that's it. You're gold. All right, Juice Music, if I'm saying this correctly, you are up next. And also, just really quick, thank you for the follow. Echo Emission, Frozen Pixels, Juice Music, if I'm saying this correctly, Antone on the track, Optimus Grime, thank you for the sub yet again, and Tom Masters by Iggy, I know you're long gone, but maybe if you're coming back for the VOD, you'll hear this. Thank you, I appreciate you. Lash, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Miguel, thank you again for the resub. I appreciate it. And Nate, thank you as always. Okay, so now that I've got that out of the way, Charcal, it's solid. I would like to say that again. And Marcus, thank you for the follow as well. Oh man, Saf, some public transport woes. Oh dude. Oh, we've all been there. Echo Emission, we're doing well, man. I'm doing well today. How are you? Thank you for being here with us. You can post links here in the chat if you like, or if you want people to pop off with their opinions and stuff outside of the stream, you can drop it in the Discord and just let me know. Uh-oh, Paul just got an email from Cherry Audio. That must mean one thing. They want more money. Echo Emission. Charcal's making the rounds right now. All right. Joe. Well, I'm sorry for wrecking the name. All right, Joe, you're up. This is it.
I'm leaving for a destination I still don't know. Somewhere nobody must have beauties at all. And if you like this, you can follow me. So let's go. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. So let's go. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. And if you like this, you can follow me. So let's go.
Yeah, this is solid, man. Just regarding the loudness thing. So there is nothing wrong with this track. This is a really solid mix. The only things that I would point out are here and there, and it's really just around individual synth sounds, not the entirety of the performance or presentation of those synths, which is what led me to ask, like, where are the LUFs on this one? Because it feels like it's been expanded upon just slightly too much. That said, the dynamics in this are fantastic. I think you would get more feels on the dance floor if you were to bring those luffs down. This is going to sound good on any system. Your mix is super, super clean. So you're not getting any kind of weird artifacting or rumble or clip or anything like that from it. It's really not about that. What it is about is turning things up and down, right? So the reason why this will get turned down on a streaming platform is because they measure things in a LUFS average, okay? And overall, if it's going to be above a negative 13 LUFS average, then they're going to turn it down. And neg 9 is probably the sweet spot right now for electronic music in general, as the average. If it's peaking at neg 6 LUFS here and there, that's fine if it's averaging 9, right? Just kind of keep in mind that neg 9 LUFS is already quite a bit louder than the negative 13 LUFS that most music sits at, which is generally regarded as the sweet spot for listening pleasure, right? So the club music gets upped a bit at the negative 9 LUFS level, right? But then at 6, we're starting to get into that space where some of the sounds sound artificially inflated as far as loudness goes. And it happens here and there in a mix. Have you noticed that with this as you play it back? Do you ever kind of get the feeling of like, oh, I don't remember that one hit being quite like that? Because if so, it's a byproduct of that specifically. So anyway, I will leave it at that and let you use your judgment as far as the loudness. But just rest assured that your dynamic range and your mixing, and even the master on this is pretty darn great. Really nice use of the stereo spectrum. Not a single element in this mix is going unheard, which is just fantastic. And if you've been doing this for 4 years, seriously for 2, then you're doing great. You're just doing great. And your artwork is fantastic right here. It just feels good. It just feels good. It's a good mix, so it feels good. Bravo. And you are welcome to bring stuff back at any time, Joe. Absolutely. Okay, and we've got another one being added to the list by Mixo. If I'm slaughtering anybody's name, please just let me know and I will correct it. Nobody really likes to be called by the wrong name. All right, Marcus, you're up. You ready? Maxo. All right, cool. Joe, I appreciate you, man. Swing by anytime. I do like jazzy hip hop. Yes, yes, yes. Cool. I'm glad the feedback was vibing with you, Joe. Thank you, Paul. Actually, Chris, it's spelled P-A-U-L, but pronounced. Thank you for that, Paul. I can call you Sunshine. All right, here we go. Up, up, and away. This one's Marcus. I'm still having little snippets of Bad Mood Kanye lyrics pop off in my head right now. Oh, those were hilarious. I love you like Kanye loves Kanye.
my mom?
Oh.
What if I can't make enough for my pa? What if I can't make enough for my dad? What if I can't make enough for my... What if I can't make enough for my mom? What if I can't make enough for my pa? What if I can't make enough for my dad? What if I can't make enough for my...
Yeah, Polly. All right, so Marcus, this is great. This is freaking great. I love the IDM vibe early on at 35 when the rap starts. It's great. This is a really, really good feel. That pad I wrote it around 40 seconds, but I think it intros just a little bit before that. I think it needs to come down. It's competing a little bit too much with both the female vocal and the rap there. And I think that the vocal can be panned a bit to the side. It would feel a little bit like a call and response, or like, you know, like a two-part conversation almost, or something, right? Total artistic choice there. At 2 minutes, the vocal goes a little out of tune there. You could cash in on it with a little pitch bend or bit crush or something else to further kind of call attention to that, which then makes it an intentional and artistic choice. And everybody loves instability, but especially in something with the IDM vibes running through it too. So Maxo says, Flume, is that you? And Polly says everybody brought their A game today. Absolute. Heidi's wondering what everyone's smoking. Eric says maybe some more stutter effects on the rhythm, bit of panning modulation too. Yeah, Mr. Bill does fantastic things with pitch shifting and modulation of said pitch shifting. He's fantastic. If you're looking for some really ace tips from him that are archived elsewhere other than Twitch, he actually came and did a little visit with us at Pyramind a few years back. Also did a little thing with him back in the ADSR days where we got a download of a whole bunch of his little maneuvers. I'm sure you can find both with a little Google search. It's just like little quick tips, a whole bunch of them, and spice up your mixes. Yeah, Andremia, Mr. Bill is crazy. Can I just say one more time, it's good to have you here today, Andremia. I'm glad to see you. Marcus, you brought it, dude. That was great. All right, next up is Froze Pixel. Froze PX. Froze Pix. I'm saying Frozen Pixel. Eric Yeoman, sir, if you have not yet met Mr. Bill, you are in for a treat, my friend. In fact, maybe we should ask him if he wants to come over and talk with us someday. Ooh, Chuck Sutton. Good one. Good one. All right, here we go.
Petit message pour Zayn.
La guitare électrique dans le champ de ta mère, fils de...
Yeah, this is really something here. Okay, so I want to hear just from halfway through this big explosive part here.
Message pour Zayn.
La guitare électrique dans le champ de ta mère, fils de...
Okay, so people are really bringing it with the artwork today too, and their submissions. This is a nice one. All right, so really solid Brahms. Wasn't sure what to expect here at the very beginning. This is great. Granular thunder manipulation with resonant cutoff roll up. It's very nice. I really like the creative use there. And it sounds like fire or paper or ice kind of mixed in with it or something here. You can give that owl or that eagle screech a more expansive reverb to resonate in. So what's going on here, and this is a super common thing. I've got some things to say about this mix. The vocal shout out shot felt out of place because it's really loud. The first one, right? More attention to the mids can kind of help focus the articulation of words, right? It's a heavily processed thing, but it's more than that. There's more to it than just that. It's that the mix is off before you're going into all of your expansions. So before whatever you're using to make it louder, right? Before your limiter or expander or whatever you're calling it. the mix is off, and it's too quiet going into it with some of the elements, and it's too loud with the vocals and this explosive stuff here, because when it's expanded, all of a sudden it's way beyond normal Luff's loudness. It's just too loud. And what that leaves you thinking is, well, the intro feels fine and the outro fade is fine. So what happened in here? Well, really, all you need to do is bring up the volume of this stuff here in the intro just a little bit, bring down the stuff over here, all the additional things, the vocals, the big Foley that's been processed and stuff, bring it down a bit. Make sure that you take a bunch of the low end out of the reverb on elements that don't need it. And then the explosive, heavy gravity of the sounds that you're allowing the low end in the reverb will actually shine, and it will translate as power instead of just bass noise. Yeah, that's what I got to say about that. This is really good. It's just too much piled up right here at too much loudness for us to hear the specificity of each sound, right? Each sound in there has some rather sharp edges, but we can't actually hear a lot of those sharp edges. So the articulation of it is all kind of lost. And we can reclaim that by getting a proper volume mix going into that master. Ultra Nightshades here. Eric, he picked up his name after Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill! Yeah. It's a parody. It's wonderful. Yeah, you know, I've got a really intelligent partner as well. What's fun is that my kid can actually keep up with a lot of the farther out thoughts that I have sometimes. This kid is going to be a freaking genius with sound. Oh my goodness. Sounds like Bane is about to blow up the football field and Batman is on his way. Yeah. Granular Thunder, Grunder. Nice. You are welcome. Frozen Pixel, you can come back anytime. All right, Maxo. You are up next. Anybody else wanting in for feedback, getting it into the queue right now is a good choice because we are going to wrap up soon. Whiskey, welcome and happy Friday to you, dude. How are you? Quick reminder, everybody that's subbing today, don't forget that you've got a free sound pack waiting for you over on the Discord. And that whatever you're inspired to make with it, you turn right back around and submit that here before the end of the month and we will vote. That's what we do here. And if you participate, regardless of where you fall in the ranks, you will get more free sounds and other goodies. And the big winner can come on the show. We can get to know them a bit, highlight some of their work. Zamerit's won last month, and he is going to be around this month to be one of the judges. Maybe we'll give him tiebreaker power. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Heidi, is Squirrel behaving for you today? All right, so we got whiskey too. Just add this one really quick. Oops, backwards. There we go. Yo, dude, seriously, what is up with all the fantastic flippin' artwork today? Look at this thing. Maxo, this is fantastic artwork. I must ask, did you make this? Or someone else? Cocktail hour. Let's do this. All right, so this is good. There's so many good things about this. The only thing that sounds off in any way in this is the kick and starting that initial bass note. It's apparent that it's a loop from the beginning, and I think it would be less apparent to most listeners if it was not that first note. It's just cumbersome. It's just a cumbersome way to start it. But imagine if those drums had a little lead in to this whole thing. Or if you want to start with the bass, kill the other things and let the bass have a lead in. But I think that it would sound really nice with that nice ride, some little hand perks. I think it would sound kind of nice. It seems a little off with that first note because it doesn't seem true to I guess the feel of the song. It's not like whether it's true to the genre or not. It feels good. It's just that one note, I think, really for me. Okay, so this kick, and you can hear it very clearly in this very first note here. It's lovely and it's nice. It's also a little wide and a little subby. And if you were to tighten up or roll off some of the sub frequencies there, I might not feel that it's wide at all, too wide at all, because it's the frequencies that are the problem, not the kick. That's all. If we choose to not include some of the lowest frequencies there, we're going to get a lot more out of it. And this is part of the less is more theory. If you take a kick that's got presence down here, down in here, and you choose to roll up off of that, what you're doing is you're diverting all of the power that was going into generating frequencies that cannot be heard and can be felt into powering the frequencies that can be heard and felt. So people can still hear and feel the frequencies all the way up to like 60, 80 hertz, right? And you can accent those things in some pretty creative ways, but the best way to get the more power distribution to them is actually cut away the frequencies right below them, and it's going to bolster the kick. You will like the effect, and it will also feel more true to the original genre that all of this stuff comes birthed from, right? Which is acid jazz, right? Which is one of my all-time faves. All right, so those keys. And this is something that I don't really touch on very much in feedback because I feel like these things are always so, like these are all artistic choices. And when I throw out creative ideas at people, it's again, it's not to make people like, oh, I want you to make stuff sound the way that I want it to sound. It's more, hey, how do we get things to lock in together here? Or how do we get things to get a bit more attention from listeners, that type of thing, right? These keys, what if we swing these just a bit, right? Or put them just a hair in front of the rest of the mix so this whole band has like a true leader in this mix, because it's really the only thing that's not present in the feel of this whole thing is which one of these guys is the leader, right? The jazz group's always got a leader. So who is it? Now, the solos are fantastic. The horns are well placed. That sax solo is fantastic. The keys are great. But I would shift those keys just a little bit and change the dynamic in the player performance here. Yeah. And we don't let SoundCloud quality cloud our judgment. Ooh, rainstorm, window open. Very nice, very nice. All right, so whiskey's up next. Sounds good. I wouldn't mind a whiskey right now. Before you listen to mine, know that haven't clipped my drums or sidechained anything. I know, face foam. Got it. Got it. An updated version of similar name added some thematic elements to give the track more of a story. I like some, I dislike others. I did a little more mixing on this version, but still nothing close to final. All thoughts appreciated. All right, here we go. Why is it that computers always think they're smarter than us? I meant ish, not wish. All right, whiskey, dude. This is good. This is fun. So cool image. Triplets, a great choice in that beginning. At 1 minute here, let's listen to this drop here really quick. And while we're listening to it, think about what it would feel like if you started this bass 1 bar earlier so that you get that wah wah right before the drop. Here we go. Listen to this. Wah wah. Well, I guess it's like a wah wah wah. Oh, maybe. Hold on a second. Where's that bass? Where's that other one? This one. Yeah, it's that bass right there. The wow, wow. Um, you know, if something like that was to hit like right before that drop, I think it'd be awesome. Did he just say, ooh, my ass? Or my eyes? Oh, Battle of the Ants, dude. It is serious out here. It's serious all the time in Oregon. But this is one of the times a year where you if you have a hole anywhere, the ants are coming through. That whisper and a lighter? I'm not sure if that's what's going on in there, but where is it? Right here? Oh, it's right here. These guys. Yeah. So those guys can both come up and be set off on opposite sides. So right now they're pretty close to each other, but just imagine how cool it would sound if you heard a tsk, tsk, right? It'd sound pretty cool. That word error, that sample could be highlighted. And that cloppy thing taking the place of the snare, I think it could be accented. Overdrive, classic. Overdrive. Do something like a +2, target around 4K. Bob's your uncle. That's it. That's it. I don't think this thing is really missing a whole lot. It really kind of comes down to what you're wanting it to actually be, like what kind of thing you're actually wanting it to be. And right now it's feeling like its own cool thing. It's stuff like this always makes me feel like there's a story behind it, right? So if there's anything else, especially Foley wise, that you feel can impart even more of that feeling, then I would say go for it, including footsteps, right? There's all of this background activity in there. Maybe someone's making that happen, right? And you hear like some footsteps on like a wooden floor a couple of times or something. I don't know. Or maybe you bring in one more Foley instrument that kind of pops off a couple of random times and slowly starts to take the form of like a rhythmic element in it. A couple of ideas if you're looking for expanding upon all of this. The little percussion on the and of one is a little hot too. Yeah, I agree. Who's Bob? What about Bob? Bob Crumb, Uncle Crumb. Maybe you've heard of him. Pope. Oh. Oh, I know that you'll tighten up the mix there. Yeah, I want to hear the person going into the mine to hear someone else dying down there. Yep, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I like the feels of the deeper storyline lurking behind it. Absolutely. Hands down, besides texture, hands down, my favorite aspect of using Foley found sounds and ambient recordings in music. Ambience recordings, rather. All right. It was meant to be a full scene that plays out. Yeah, I'd say chase that down. I'd say chase that down because I like it. It turned out to be more of a banger. Yes, Paul, it is. It's the butter on the popcorn. They're very well put. I've never heard anyone say that about Foley and music, but that really freaking sums it up quite beautifully, actually. I've just emptied my coffee cup. This can really only mean one thing. Because the coffee pot is empty. It can really only mean that we're about out of time. Ooh, poppycorn. You are welcome for the feedback, Whiskey. Anytime. It's good to have you here. One last reminder. I know we didn't play with it quite as much as I was expecting to. Just because we had so much fun with feedback today. But Strobe, too, if you want to pick it up, there's a link in the chat. And maybe I can put it in there for you one more time. It's fun. It's a fun synth if you're looking for something that's got a really old school and analog sound, but with tons of modern modulation capabilities. Then there's not anything quite else like it. Yeah, Paul, I think that yeah, that's tough. You would probably love the sound of Strobe so much, but Serum is just so flippin' relevant for you, I think, with like the wavetable making and stuff. I feel like you would really go places with it in general. Definitely. Who is streaming right now? Who's open for business? Let's see. Not many people. Well, Lil Bad Snacks is streaming. We could always go over and say hi to her. You guys want to go see her? She's fun. All right, hang tight. Got a few other tracks that have a darker vibe like this one. I want to tie them all together. The other two are more ritualistic. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Dude, I like that. Yeah. Samaritz, thanks for hanging, dude. Y'all sit tight. I'm going to send you on over to Lil Bad Snacks. She's fun. Thanks again, as always, for hanging with me. I will see you guys on the flip on Monday. Yeah, have a great weekend. Stay inspired. Make something awesome. Peace out.
Oh, we got a raid.